The triumph of resilience over betrayal. In the bustling city of Kampala, there lived a humble and hardworking man named Okidi. He was a primary school teacher, well loved by his students for his kindness and dedication. However, despite his efforts, his teaching job barely earned him enough to meet his needs. Okidi's family relied on him for everything. As the eldest son in a large family, his siblings looked up to him for school fees, and his parents depended on him for daily sustenance. He wanted a better life for them, so he made a bold decision. One evening, after finishing his classes, Okidi sat down with his father, Mr. Olora, and told him about his plan to go abroad. "I'll go to Canada, work hard, and change all our lives," he declared. Mr. Olora nodded approvingly. Leaving his small rented room in Kampala, Okidi bid farewell to his family, promising to return with enough wealth to build a better future. His siblings waved enthusiastically, believing he would come back a rich man. When Okidi arrived in Canada, he realized life wasn't as easy as he'd imagined. The cold winters, long working hours, and cultural differences weighed heavily on him. He found a job cleaning offices at night and working in a factory during the day. Despite the hardships, Okidi sent money home regularly. He made sacrifices, often eating little so he could send extra money for his siblings' education and his parents' upkeep. He never complained because he loved his family deeply. After a few years, Okidi had an idea. Why not build a house back home in Kampala, he thought. A house would be a permanent achievement, a symbol of his hard work abroad. He called his father one evening and shared his plan. "Papa, I will send you money bit by bit. Please make sure you oversee the construction of the house," Okidi said. Mr. Olora enthusiastically agreed, promising to handle everything. Every month, Okidi sent money for the house project. "Papa, please send me pictures of the progress," he would ask. In return, his father sent photos of a beautiful house rising steadily. What Okidi didn't know was that the pictures his father sent weren't real. They were images of other people's houses taken around the city. Mr. Olora was using the money to drink alcohol and lavish gifts on young women. Years went by, and Okidi worked tirelessly, never suspecting his father's betrayal. He was proud of what he believed was a beautiful home waiting for him in Kampala. After 7 long years in Canada, Okidi decided it was time to return home. He was ready to start his life afresh, get married, and enjoy the fruit of his labor. On his journey back, he couldn't contain his excitement. "At last, I'll see my house and my family. Everything will be worth it," he thought to himself. When he arrived at his family's home, his siblings and relatives gathered to welcome him. The atmosphere was joyful, but something felt off. His father avoided his gaze, looking nervous and uneasy. "Papa, where are the keys to the house? I want to see it," Okidi said after the celebrations. His father stammered, unable to answer. "Well, you see, my son," he began. Suspicion crept into Okidi's heart. "Papa, what's going on? Where is my house?" he demanded. His father finally broke down, confessing everything. "I didn't build the house. I used the money," he said. Okidi froze. His legs gave way, and he fainted. Relatives rushed him to the hospital. The betrayal was too much for him to handle. At the hospital, as he lay on the bed recovering, tears rolled down his cheeks. He couldn't believe that the father he had trusted so deeply had squandered all his hard-earned money. After being discharged, Okidi confronted his family. "I sent money out of love. I starved and worked in terrible conditions for you all, and this is how you repay me?" he asked, his voice breaking. His father tried to defend himself. "I raised you, gave you food, and sent you to school. It was my turn to enjoy your success," he said shamelessly. Hurt and betrayed, Okidi decided to cut ties with his family. He packed his bags and left Kampala, determined to start afresh in a place where no one knew him. He moved to a small town and used the little money he had left to start poultry farming. It wasn't easy, but he was determined to rebuild his life. Day by day, his poultry farm grew. He raised chickens and sold eggs to local markets, hotels, and supermarkets. People admired his dedication and hard work. As his business expanded, Okidi became wealthy. He didn't flaunt his success but remained humble, grateful for the second chance life had given him. One day, he met a kind woman named Adok. She admired his resilience and hard work. They fell in love and got married, starting a happy and peaceful life together. Back in Kampala, Okidi's family was struggling. They had squandered the money he sent over the years and were now living in poverty. Mr. Olara regretted his actions. "If only I had used the money wisely, we wouldn't be suffering like this," he often lamented. But it was too late. Meanwhile, Okidi's farm became one of the biggest suppliers of chicken and eggs in the region. He built his own house, the home of honesty and hard work. When word of Okidi's success reached his family, they tried to reconcile with him. But Okidi kept his distance, believing that trust, once broken, could never fully be repaired. In the end, Okidi's story became an inspiration to many in his new town. He taught them that betrayal could break a person, but resilience and determination could rebuild them. Okidi found peace, success, and love, not in the family he was born into, but in the life he built for himself.